Hello, welcome back to my blog. So this is Joe Bren, yours truly. So welcome to my channel, The Free Mind. Thank you so much. I know it has been a long time since I posted my latest video. And as what you've noticed, I'm wearing my new hairstyle. There's just one incident happened to me. But don't worry, I am doing fine. I am doing okay. So thank you so much. So I hope you don't mind me wearing something like this. And I hope you also support me throughout my YouTube journey. So as what I've promised, I'll be discussing to you our first lesson in the subject of human popular culture. So this time is I'll be sharing to you my inputs on our module 1 in exploring society and culture. So what is society and what is culture? So let's try to define the difference between society and culture. Let's first discuss the idea of society. So our society tend to give us some labels on how we can classify things. For example, we based our classification based on our race, based on our customs, based on our traditions. So in short, ang society di ay is mao na siya nag-ingon nga makaingon ka nga ang ilang society is lahi sa atong society. Makaingon ka nga ang ilang society or kung unsa ang ilang society is sakto og sa so that is the real meaning of society. And sometimes because of our different classification about society, sometimes it stops us from seeing the uniqueness of our identities. Kay di ba mo hatag man tag classification sa kani nga society ingani sila, sa kani pud nga society ingani pud sila. And sometimes because of our classification usahay maglibog ka, usahay dili nimo makita kung unsa joy uniqueness sa atong identities based on our society, based on our societal function, unsa jud di ay sila. Okay, so sometimes ang atong pagtuo usahay makahinder na siya kung unsa pud ang sakto nga dapat natong masabtan nganong ingana ilang society. Okay, so that is the real meaning of our society. I have my own society, you have your own society. Kung unsa mo nga klase nga society, lahi pud mi unsa mi nga klase nga society. Okay, kay sa usa ka society na mo po na siya lahi nga culture, lahi mi og belief system. And that's why lahi ang among identity as part of the society. Okay, so ingana siya mura siya it's a bit complex or libog siya, but as what you've noticed, kung moadto ka sa US or anywhere sa Iloilo or something, na po sila kaugalingon nga society nga sa imong tan-aw lahi pud sa imuhang society nga naa ka diri. For example, na ako sa Leyte, so nami society pod nga dapat among buhaton kung adto ko mo transfer ko sa US or sa Australia, so na po sila ilang kagalingong society. So ingana siya, okay? Because according to Edward Taylor, the classic meaning of culture. So when you talk about culture, is that culture pertains to the complexity of a whole. So what do you mean by complexity? Libog siya. When you talk about culture, it includes a lot of things. When you talk about culture, it includes about your knowledge, your belief, your morals. Okay, so daghan kag i-consider when you talk about culture. It is not only one factor nga makaingon ka ingana sila or nganong ingana man ilang the way they behave. It's because it is the complexity of a whole culture. Okay? So it includes about your knowledge, your belief, and your morals. That's why lahi-lahi ta. And sometimes when you talk about exploring culture and society, we should not be close-minded nga kung unsa imong belief system, dapat belief system pud sa ubang tao. Kay lahi man ta, lilahi tag society, lilahi pud tag as part of the member of the society na putay mga culture nga atong gibuhat, nga atong gibuhat. Okay? So, take note, culture is the full range of learned human behavior. So when you talk about culture, it consists of the things nga imong na-acquire. It is learned. It is learned meaning imong nakatunan. It is a learned human behavior. And that is culture. Nganong akong culture lahi man sa uban? Nganong siya ing-ani? Nganong ako ing-ani? Right? Because we have different upbringings, we have different cultures, and ang ato apong kultura mo na nakaingon nganong ing-ani atong society. Right? Nganong ing-ani man mo react ang mga Bisaya, nganong ing-ani man pud mo react ang taga Iloilo. So we are so unique when you talk about society and culture. Okay, so because of our culture, we have a lot of things to do. We have our human-made things. Take note, our human-made things are the products of culture. So because of our culture or because of our cultural differences, daghan kaayo tag nabuhat. For example, because of our culture na atay mga ato apong specialty, right? Na ay makabuhat ani because of culture. Na atoy magkuan og mga tattoo because of culture. Ilaha man to. Right? So that's why unsay nakita nato diri karon, that is part of our human learned behavior. Human made things. So in short, when you talk about culture, they are not culture in themselves. What do you mean sa atong palibot? Those are the products of our culture. And we can create a lot of things. We can create things that is based on our culture. Munang lahi tag mga specialty, lahi po tag gusto, lahi tag style, right? It's because of our cultural differences. Okay? So we learn things based on our culture. So because culture, according to my reference, culture is how we look at the world. So when you talk about culture, culture talks about how we learn to look at the world and how we function in it. So when you talk about how we look at the world, unsa ka the way maghuna-huna, unsa ka the way mulihok, ug unsa ka the way mutan-aw sa imuhang palibot, and that is culture. So tungod kay ning lihok na ka, tungod kay ning function na ka, so therefore mapunay na buhat sa imong society because part man ka. Diba? We are all part of our society. Part ko sa kani nga society. That's why I function based sa akong nakita. Kung unsa pod mo function ang mga tao sa akong palibot. And that is very important to understand no nga dili na to i-judge ang uban or di na to hingnaon nga sayop sila because wata kay baw sa ilang culture, wata kay baw sa ilang society, how they function, unsa di ay. Okay? So that is very important for us to know that the differences, the cultural differences sa lahi-lahi nga lugar. Okay? So, when you talk about culture, they are not merely physical, they are also psychological or mental. So when you talk about culture, it is not about mo follow lang ka, kay mao na nakita nimo, sahay mo follow ka, kay mao na atong pagtuo. Mao na ato ang belief system, and that's why you follow. Because the key to it lies in our individual minds. Diba kung imong tan-aw, di man ka mo follow sa usa ka butang kung tan-aw nimo sa imong hunahuna, dili sakto. Because ang culture daw, it's not all about the physical. It needs mental or our psychological function, and that is culture. Okay? Manang usahay masyakta no lahi tag culture kung adto ta sa lugar sa atong parents or mo migrate ka sa US, sometimes naay uban ma-change ang ilang culture, ilang pagtuo, but naay uban remain or they will sustain kung unsa jud ilahang pagtuo nga sakto. And that is the importance of culture. Okay? So culture makes us unique. Culture helps us to know to have our own mindset kung unsa jud sakto and to enhance our humans ability, and that is culture. Manang usahay importante kay sa tao ang culture, no? Because ang culture, that is how we do things, that's how we react to understand things. Kaya kung ganahan na ka sa kultura ana nga lugar, you blend in and you become part of the society. Di na ka maglisod because culture, it's not all about the physical function. It also deals or talks about the idea of our psychological or mental function. Okay? So that is very important. Okay, so society is a people of culture. Do you agree that we are all part of the society? Society is a people of culture. Kay kung ning go na ka sa culture, ning go na ka sa kultura kung sa gibuhat nila, and then you believe nga sakto ilang gibuhat, therefore you are part of the society. So we are all part of the society. Despite unsa imong trabaho, despite unsa imong nahuman, we are all part of the society. Because that's what you've noticed, culture, nanong ani man ko, it's because of my culture. Culture makes me like this. And then society is the actual performance of my culture. Therefore, naingani ko, it's because of my cultural belief. And because of my cultural belief, that's why I'm here. That's why ganahan ko sa akong culture. That's why I'm here. Wala ko ning transfer lain because I believe ang akong kultura is good for me. Okay, take note, culture, that is the reason nganong ingana ka. And because ingana ka, you blend in and you become part of the society. Okay? So that is the essence why we need to understand the society and the culture. We are all part of the society regardless of our races, regardless of our socioeconomic status, regardless as long as ning sabay ka, as long as ning go ka kung sa atong kultura dire, and then you become part of our society. Okay? So, what gives human beings superior? Daingon sila, we are superior. Humans are superior because we can think. We are superior because we can do things. We can learn things, and that makes us superior. We can acquire knowledge. Right? Diba, ningon ko, culture is a complexity of a whole. It includes knowledge, morals, wisdom, and that makes us superior. So take note, with the use of knowledge, with the use of our ability, or with the use of our language, we can communicate. We can share thoughts. We can change perspective. We can counsel other people because with the use of language. And because of that language, we can develop a new way of life. We can change things, we can change people, we can inspire other people with the use of language. And because of that language, we can change our culture. Possibly, we can change our culture from everything good for our culture. We can inspire others to do the same as what we are doing now. And that is the importance of language. And language is part of our culture. Okay? So according to Murdok, without language, we can't do something better for our culture. If we are not capable of communicating with others, nothing will happen. Nothing will happen in our cultural belief, and nothing will happen when it comes to our societal function. That's why our language is very important in trying to explore culture and society. Okay, so without language, we are just stagnant. Without our ability to speak or to talk or to inspire, we are just stagnant. Because what you've noticed, culture is what makes us different. culture can change our perspective. And because of the, as what you've noticed, we are now living in a fast-paced environment. And Facebook is changing from Facebook to metaverse. So it's constantly changing. And that is culture. We are trying to improve without the use of culture, without the use of our language, we cannot improve something. And that is the relationship between culture and society. Culture is very important to society because, again, culture is what makes us who we are, and the society is our actual performance based on what we believe in, right? So cultural identity, I have my own cultural identity, is a reflection of an individual society inner workings. What does it mean? Cultural, you have your own cultural identity, right? I also have my own thing. And ako ni siyang gifollow nga cultural identity because it is a reflection of my individual society's inner workings. Kay mauni siya nakaingon nga nung ing-ani ko. And that is my cultural identity. Lahi man ta. Okay? So we need our cultural norms. Dapat na adyo tay basihan nganong ing-ani, nganong si Jubre ning-ani, nganong siya ing-ani. So we need to have our cultural norms. Without our cultural norms, or kung walay guide ang usa ka tawo, society cannot function. Maglibog ta. Maglibog ta kung saon nato pagdala atong kaugalingon. Maglibog ta kung saon nato pag-raise ug sakto ang atong kaugalingon. That's why culture is very important to society. Without culture, without our belief, our thoughts, without our language, society cannot function. Society cannot function. They must coexist. Dapat naana sila. If we have culture, we should have society. We are all part of our society. The culture is our how we interact, how we think about things, and then because of our thoughts, because of our reaction, that makes us a great society. Okay? So, take note that culture can and does change over time. Culture can change anytime. Our belief, our thoughts, our perspective can change over time. At the same thing, our society can also change based on our perspective. Right karon trending kayo mga blogs. Karon daghan kayo more on online. So from face to face, na online na ang learning. So we are trying to move in to online learning style. And that's how we adapt. And that is now our cultural norms because of the pandemic. So we need to do something great for our society. We shouldn't stop here. That's why if if culture changes, the same thing as our society is also change. Okay? So we need to understand the importance of knowing our cultural identity, our cultures and society to come up with a greater society. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you are learning through this video. This is our lesson 1 in the subject of human popular culture. I hope you are learning a lot, and I will be posting more. So you can also send your comments down below if you want me to discuss something, what topic. So I also have my time to do research and to help you a lot, especially students. Okay, I am not used to blogging, but because of our because of our culture's online need, so I need to do something. So something like this to help all our students. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you again for my next video for my lesson 2 in the subject of human popular culture. Thank you so much, and God bless.